What if I told you that the biggest reason people never achieve their dreams isn't lack of talent, money, or opportunity, but something far more hidden inside them? Before we go any further, ask yourself a question you rarely ask. What is your dream really worth? If you had to pay for it, not with money, but with time, effort, discipline, and sacrifice, how much would you honestly give? Most people never think about the real cost of their dream. They love the idea of a better life, a bigger vision, a stronger purpose. But when the price appears, they hesitate. Yet those who rise, those who break through, are the ones who answer that question with courage. In this video, we're going deeper than motivational cliches. Today, we uncover the raw truth behind what Brendon Burchard teaches, the psychology, the habits, and the hidden commitments that separate those who try from those who transform. You'll learn why your dream demands a special type of energy most people never access, why your brain often fights against your own goals, and how tiny habits quietly shape your identity more than big decisions do. Few people know this. Every step toward your dream casts a vote for your future self, teaching your mind who you are becoming. Successful people don't wait for motivation or perfect timing. They start with what they have and refuse to stop. But here's where the suspense begins. Your dream will test you. It will expose your fears, excuses, and patterns. And Brendon teaches that your dream doesn't just give you a destiny. It gives you a journey that shapes your character. If you watch until the end, you won't just understand the value of your dream. You'll understand your own value. You'll discover why clarity creates power, why commitment builds confidence, and why small moments of courage often become life's turning point. We'll explore how high performers stay disciplined when they're unmotivated, how dreamers keep going when no one believes in them, and how ordinary people rise to extraordinary levels by refusing to walk away from the life they're meant to live. This video is here to challenge you, inspire you, and wake up something inside you that's been quiet for too long. If you're tired of feeling stuck or waiting for life to change, stay with me, because by the end, you'll know exactly what you are worth. Welcome to Habits of Greatness, where we break down the mindset and discipline that help you rise to your highest potential. If you're ready to transform your habits in your life, make sure you subscribe and join this journey. Your dream is waiting. Before we talk about the cost of a dream, we need to understand what a dream really is. Most people use the word casually, like it's just a nice idea floating somewhere in the back of their mind. But a true dream, one that can shape your life, is much deeper. It's not a wish you whisper to yourself when things get hard. It's not a fantasy you imagine only when you feel inspired. A real dream is the honest picture of the life you want to live. It's the work that makes you feel alive. It's the impact you want to leave on others. Long after you're gone, your dream is the highest vision you hold for yourself, even if you rarely say it out loud. And the strange thing is, most people have a dream inside them, but they never take the time to define it. They say they want success, or freedom, or a better life. But they never sit down and ask, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that actually mean for me? Without definition, a dream stays blurry. It becomes something distant, something you hope for but never move toward. Clarity is the first step. If you don't clearly understand what you want, you can't deliberately grow into it. A dream is also not about ego or impressing anyone. It's not about having more than someone else or proving people wrong. A true dream comes from a place of honesty, not comparison. It comes from your values, your heart, your unique vision of a meaningful life. When Brendon Burchard talks about dreams, he isn't talking about winning the lottery of life. He's talking about choosing the life that matches your highest potential. The life where your days feel aligned. The life where your energy is directed towards something that matters to you. And you know a dream is real when it feels both exciting and a little scary. The excitement comes from possibility. The fear comes from responsibility. Deep inside, you know that if this dream came true, everything would change. How you live, how you act, how you show up in the world. That's why people hold back. They fear the transformation that comes with becoming their best self. But your dream is not here to scare you. It's here to call you forward, to remind you that you are capable of more than the routines you've settled into. A dream becomes powerful when it turns into a vision. A vision is not abstract. It has shape, direction, and intention. You can see it clearly in your mind, where you stand, what you do, how you feel, who you are becoming. A vision answers the deeper questions. What kind of life do I want to wake up to? What kind of work feels meaningful to me? What kind of relationships do I want to build? What kind of impact do I want to make? You don't need to have every detail figured out, but you do need a sense of direction. Without direction, you drift. With direction, you grow. And if you never define your dream, life will define things for you. Your schedule will be filled by other people's priorities. Your energy will be drained by things that don't fulfill you. Days become weeks. Weeks become years. And one day you wake up realizing you never lived the life you imagined. So defining your dream is an act of courage. It's you saying, this is who I want to become, and this is the life I want to experience. It's you choosing a future that feels true, not just convenient. It's you declaring that your desires matter. When you define your dream, you begin to align your actions with your purpose. You begin to direct your focus instead of letting the world distract you. And slowly you begin to transform, not because circumstances changed, but because clarity changed. A defined dream gives meaning to your effort, direction to your choices, and fire to your soul. Before we go any deeper, we need to draw a clear line, one that most people never think about. There is a difference between a dream and a fantasy. A fantasy is what you see in your mind when you're bored, tired, or escaping reality. It's the thing you picture when you want life to feel easier. It's soft, distant, and effortless. A fantasy doesn't ask anything of you. It doesn't push you. It doesn't require you to grow. You can imagine it whenever you want, and nothing changes. But a real dream, one that carries weight, meaning, and potential, demands more. It needs clarity. It needs commitment. It needs a level of responsibility that makes you sit up straighter and breathe a little deeper. A dream isn't just something you think about. It's something you decide you're willing to move toward, even when it's inconvenient. And this is where most people stop. They think dreaming is enough. They think visualizing is enough. Or you think wanting something badly is enough. But if you don't plan, if you don't act, if you don't organize your life around progress, then what you have isn't a dream. It's just a fantasy with pretty color. Brendon Burchard always says that intention without action is just hope. And hope is beautiful, but hope alone won't build your future. You can't imagine yourself into a meaningful life. You build it with choices, habits, and everyday courage. A real dream needs structure. It needs you to sit down and ask, what exactly am I trying to create? What steps would get me closer? What habits would support this? Without clarity, your dream floats above your life like a cloud you admire but never touch. With clarity, it becomes something you can walk toward, mile by mile, choice by choice. Fantasy is easy. Dreaming is easy. Planning is where the truth shows up. And acting consistently is where transformation begins. But even when you have clarity, even when you have a plan, you will face the real cost of pursuing a dream. And that cost is rarely money. It's far more personal. Chasing a dream will cost you time. The hours you used to spend scrolling, escaping, or pulling away from life, it will cost you comfort. Because growth never comes from staying where you are. It will cost you energy, because creating something meaningful requires emotional and mental effort. It may even cost you social approval, because when you rise, not everyone will rise with you. Some people might question your choices. Some might feel threatened by your ambition. Some might simply not understand why you're changing. But this is part of the price. You cannot build the life you want while holding on to every comfort of the life you already have. Sometimes you will have to give up leisure. Sometimes you will have to sacrifice stability. Sometimes you will have to stop choosing the easy path and start choosing the right one. The truth is, every dream comes with a trade-off. You trade the person you are today for the person you want to become. And that exchange is not always smooth. It's not always satisfying. It's not always glamorous. But it is always worth it. Because the reward isn't just the dream. The reward is the growth you experience while pursuing it. This is the part most people overlook. They think the struggle is a sign they're failing. They think difficulty means they're not ready or not capable. But the struggle is the training ground. It's where character is built. It's where resilience is formed. It's where strength is discovered. The struggle is not a punishment. It's preparation. The obstacles you face don't block the path. They are the path. Brendon Burchard teaches that the journey shapes you more than the result ever will. Anyone can want success. Anyone can want change. But the ones who grow, rise, and thrive are the ones who stay in the process long enough for the process to shape them. You grow when you stay disciplined, even when it's boring. You grow when you take action, even when you're tired. You grow when you keep showing up after a setback. You grow when you choose progress over excuses. And every time you overcome something hard, you become more capable of handling what comes next. The struggle upgrades you. It gives you the emotional strength required to carry the weight of your future. That's why the dream demands struggle. Not to break you, but to build you into the kind of person who can hold success without falling apart. But growth isn't enough on its own. You also have to align your life. You have to look at where your time goes, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, and ask yourself, does this support my dream, or does this distract me from it? Too many people say they want greatness, but they spend hours every day doing things that move them nowhere. They fill their schedule with tasks that don't matter. They give their energy to people who drain them. They invest their attention into things that have nothing to do with the life they want to build. And then they wonder why their dream feels far away. Alignment is one of the most powerful principles Brendon teaches. It means making sure your daily actions match your long-term vision. It means being mindful of how you live instead of drifting through the day on autopilot. It means removing distractions, not because you're rigid, but because you're committed. It means directing your focus toward what truly matters. When your life is aligned, progress becomes almost natural. When your life is misaligned, progress becomes almost impossible. So, alignment is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about catching yourself when you drift and gently guiding yourself back toward your purpose. And once you understand alignment, you must take the next step, building realistic plans, not vague hopes, not general desires. Real plans with real steps. A dream becomes powerful when you break it down into targets. What will you do next week? What will you do tomorrow? What will you do today? When you create structure, your dream becomes actionable. When you create steps, your dream becomes measurable. When you create habits, your dream becomes inevitable. Brendon Burchard always says that small wins create momentum. You don't need to leap the whole distance. You just need to make consistent progress. So visualize your deliverables. Visualize the small milestones. Visualize the daily actions that move you forward even an inch. That's where the real magic is, not in the giant breakthroughs, but in the steady accumulation of tiny steps, daily improvement, daily discipline, daily courage. A dream is built in silence long before it is celebrated in public. The world sees the result, but you live the process. And the process is where your greatness is formed. When you choose a dream that truly matters, you have to expect obstacles. Not because you're unlucky, not because you're unworthy, but because anything meaningful will test you. Failure will show up. Criticism will come. Hardship will appear in moments you don't expect. Some days you'll question yourself. Some days you'll wonder if you're built for this. Some days you'll feel like you're moving backward. But none of that means your dream is wrong or impossible. It simply means you're in the part of the journey that grows. Brendon Burchard often says that struggle isn't a sign to quit. It's the sign you're doing something that requires strength. And strength is built only when you're asked to stretch beyond what you're used to. You can't develop resilience and comfort. You can't expand your capacity if life never challenges you. You can't rise without resistance. The obstacles aren't punishments, they're invitations to become stronger, wiser, more capable, and more conscious of who you really are. Real resilience is not about being fearless. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's not about pushing yourself with blind intensity. Real resilience is a quiet, steady commitment to remain aligned with your dream even when everything around you shakes. It's the ability to hold your vision when others don't understand it. It's the choice to take the next step even when you feel stuck. It's the courage to keep going, not because it's easy, but because you've decided this dream matters. When people doubt you, resilience keeps you centered. When you doubt yourself, resilience keeps you moving. When the path feels longer than you imagined, Resilience reminds you that progress is not always loud. Sometimes resilience is simply refusing to let discouragement have the final say. That kind of inner strength is what separates those who try from those who transform. But while you're fighting for your dream, there's something even more important to remember. Meaning matters more than magnitude. Don't fall into the trap of believing your dream has to be huge to be valuable. A dream doesn't need to impress the world to fulfill your soul. Even a small, sincere dream can bring profound fulfillment. Maybe your dream is to build a peaceful home. Maybe it's to do work you care about. Maybe it's to help a few people in a way that feels genuine. Maybe it's to express your creativity, to start something small, or to live with more joy. Those dreams are just as worthy as grand visions of global success. The worth of a dream is not measured by the size of the audience, but by the size of the impact it has on your heart and the hearts of those you touch. Sometimes the true value of a dream is invisible to the outside world. It shows up in who you become while pursuing it. It shows up in the integrity you strengthen, the courage you practice, the values you honor. It shows up in the way you inspire your children, your friends, your community. It shows up in the quiet moments where you feel aligned with who you truly are. Smart Next Up teaches that the real worth of a dream is often emotional, moral, and spiritual, not material. It's not always about fame, money, or attention. It's about becoming the kind of person who lives with intention, meaning, and purpose. And if your dream moves you toward that version of yourself, then it is absolutely worth it. Another key part of the journey is learning to live as if you already value your dream today. Not someday in the future, not once things get better, not when everything is perfect. If you wait for ideal conditions, you'll wait forever. Future happiness is built on present habits. So you must make a conscious choice to appreciate what you have now. Celebrate small wins. Notice small joys. Acknowledge small progress. Don't postpone your happiness until the dream is achieved, because that mindset drains your motivation and makes the journey feel like suffering. Brendon Burchard teaches that enthusiasm must be practiced daily. Gratitude must be practiced daily. Joy must be practiced daily. These emotions don't automatically appear when you achieve success, are cultivated while you pursue it. When you live as if your dream matters now, your actions become more focused. Your energy becomes more meaningful. The journey itself becomes rewarding, not just the destination. And that keeps you grounded. It keeps you aligned. It keeps you from burning out or losing sight of why you started. The truth is, you don't become happier when the dream happens. You become happier when you grow into the person who believes the dream is worth living for. So don't wait for the future to feel fulfilled. Bring fulfillment into the process. That's what sustains your motivation. That's what keeps your spirit alive. But to stay committed, you must ask yourself one of the most important questions in the entire journey. Is your dream worth the price? Be honest. If you lose comfort, if you lose ease, if you lose a little security, would you still want this dream? If it forces you to grow in uncomfortable ways, if it demands patience, if it demands discipline, does it still feel important? If people don't support you, if circumstances get difficult, if progress is slow, would you still choose this path? A dream becomes real the moment you accept what it requires. Some sacrifices will be temporary, some will be permanent, some will feel light, some will feel heavy. But every dream has a price. And the price is always paid in advance. You invest your time, your focus, your effort, your belief. You invest your emotional energy. You invest your identity, who you are becoming. So pause and reflect. What does this dream mean to me? What am I willing to give? What am I not willing to give? What matters most? There are no wrong answers. There is only honesty. If the dream doesn't feel worth the price, it may not be your dream. It may be someone else's expectation. But if the dream feels worth it, even with the challenges, even with the sacrifices, then you've found something powerful, something true, something that deserves your commitment. This self-check isn't meant to discourage you. It's meant to clarify you. When you're clear about the price and clear about the value, you stop hesitating. You stop second-guessing. You stop wasting energy, resisting the process. You step into the journey with purpose, not confusion. You move with confidence instead of doubt. You remind yourself that the dream is not just something you want, it's something you choose. And every time you choose it, you become just a little more of the person you were meant to be. At the end of the day, a dream's true worth isn't measured only by the finish line, it's measured by who you become along the way. It's shaped by the habits you build, the courage you practice, and the values you choose to live by every single day. You grow through the clarity, the discipline, the resilience, and the alignment you bring into your life. And that growth, that's the real reward. So if your dream genuinely matters to you, don't wait for the perfect time. Commit, align your daily choices with what you say you want. Build realistic plans. Take ownership of the journey and embrace the struggle, because that struggle is teaching you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the life you're asking for. This week, I want you to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of life do I want to build? Write it down. Get honest about your dream. And then take one small, real step toward it. Today, not someday. If this message inspired you or helped you see your path a little clearer, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more motivation, clarity, and growth every single week. You're not just chasing a dream, you're becoming the person capable of living it. Keep going. You've got this.